Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to have you here today. Today, I'll be presenting on the topic of the Technical Report Series, brought to you by Dr. S.K. Singh, Ph.D. In this session, we'll explore the key aspects of the series, including its purpose, structure, and how it contributes to our field. So let's get started. In 1969, the term GMP was officially adopted by the World Health Organization. This stands for Good Manufacturing Practices, and it marked a significant step forward in ensuring the quality and safety of medicines worldwide. The WHO published a key document titled Good Practices in the Manufacture and Quality Control of Drugs, which served as a foundational reference for the industry. Additionally, the WHO's guidelines and standards are communicated through a series called the Technical Report Series, or TRS. These reports are essential because they provide detailed, internationally recognized standards that help countries and manufacturers ensure their practices meet global quality benchmarks. This slide highlights the importance of these early efforts and the ongoing role of WHO in setting and disseminating standards. It connects to our overall theme of understanding how GMP principles are established, shared, and maintained to protect public health across the globe. Today, I'd like to highlight that this information is published for biological standardization, which is crucial for ensuring consistency and safety across biological products. Specifically, we're referring to Annexure 1, which outlines the Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP, for biological products. This annexure provides detailed guidelines to ensure that biological medicines are produced in a controlled and consistent manner. You'll notice that this document is part of TRS 822, which is a key resource in this field. The number 42 indicates the specific section or chapter we are focusing on. Overall, these standards are vital because they help maintain the quality, safety, and efficacy of biological medicines, aligning with our broader goal of safeguarding public health. So, understanding and applying these GMP guidelines is essential for manufacturers and regulators alike. Let's talk about the specifications for manufacturing pharmaceutical products. This slide highlights the detailed guidelines on good manufacturing practices, or GMP, which are essential to ensure product quality and safety. You'll notice that there are specific sections dedicated to different types of products. For example, Chapter 17 focuses on sterile products, and this is separated out in TRS 902 to emphasize its unique requirements. Sterile products demand extra precautions to prevent contamination, so having dedicated guidelines helps maintain their integrity. Similarly, Chapter 18 covers bulk drugs, also separated within TRS 902. Bulk drugs are the raw materials used to make final formulations, and their manufacturing process has specific standards to ensure purity and consistency. It's important to understand that the old series used to guide the process for obtaining COPP, or Certificate of Pharmaceutical Product, but this has now been replaced by TRS 908. Additionally, there's TRS 823, which relates to other important standards and guidelines. These references help us stay aligned with current international practices and ensure our manufacturing processes meet the required quality benchmarks. Overall, these specifications and guidelines form the backbone of quality assurance in pharmaceutical manufacturing, ensuring that every product meets safety, efficacy, and regulatory standards. Now, let's move on to Slide 5, which focuses on Annexure 3 for GMP for biological products, specifically referencing TRS 834-33. Here, we're looking at the detailed guidelines that ensure the quality, safety, and efficacy of biological products through good manufacturing practices. Annexure 3 provides the specific requirements tailored for biologicals, which are often more complex than chemical drugs due to their sensitive nature. It covers essential aspects like manufacturing processes, validation, quality control, and documentation. These guidelines are crucial because they help maintain consistency and ensure that biological products meet the stringent standards necessary for patient safety. Remember, Adherence to Annexure 3 is not just about compliance, but also about upholding the integrity of the products we deliver. This ties back to our overall theme of quality assurance and the importance of robust regulatory frameworks in the pharmaceutical industry. Let's take a closer look at the specifications for pharmaceutical preparations as outlined in Annexure 6, which provides guidelines on the validation of manufacturing processes. One of the key aspects here is understanding the different types of process validation. It's essential to recognize that validation isn't a one-time event, but a structured approach to ensure consistent quality. Next, we have the preparation for process validation. This involves thoroughly planning and setting clear approaches to how validation will be carried out. It's about establishing a solid foundation so that the process can be validated effectively and reliably. Organization is another critical element. Proper organization ensures that the validation activities are well coordinated, responsibilities are clear, and resources are appropriately allocated. This helps in maintaining a streamlined validation process. The scope of the process validation program defines what aspects of the manufacturing process will be validated. It sets the boundaries and objectives, ensuring that the validation efforts are comprehensive and aligned with regulatory expectations. We also need to consider the validation protocol and report. The protocol is like a detailed plan for how validation will be conducted, including methods and acceptance criteria. The report documents the results, demonstrating that the process meets the required standards. Finally, I want to mention TRS 863-34 from 2001-2002, which provides additional guidance and is often referenced in these validation activities. Overall, these guidelines form a framework to ensure that pharmaceutical manufacturing processes are validated effectively, ultimately safeguarding product quality and patient safety. Now, let's take a closer look at some important guidelines issued by the WHO Export Committee. On this slide, we see Annexure 5, which provides supplementary guidelines for the manufacturing of pharmaceutical excipients. These are the inactive substances used alongside the active ingredients in drug formulations, and maintaining their quality is crucial for the safety and efficacy of medicines. Next, we have Annexure 6, which outlines guidelines for the inspection of drug distribution channels. This is a key component in ensuring that pharmaceutical products are handled properly throughout the supply chain, preventing contamination, theft, or counterfeit issues. Both of these annexures are part of the broader effort to standardize and improve quality control in pharmaceuticals. They help manufacturers and inspectors align with international best practices, ensuring that medicines are safe, effective, and available through trusted channels. These guidelines are essential in our overall theme of strengthening global pharmaceutical standards, and adherence to them supports the integrity of the entire supply chain from production to patient. Let's now take a closer look at Annexure 6, which covers GMP for sterile products, specifically focusing on quality control. Ensuring rigorous quality control is essential to guarantee the safety and efficacy of sterile preparations. This includes strict sanitation protocols, which are fundamental to prevent contamination at every stage. When it comes to manufacturing sterile preparations, there are two main approaches: terminal sterilization and aseptic processing, with sterilization by filtration. Terminal sterilization involves sterilizing the product after it's fully prepared, while aseptic processing requires maintaining a sterile environment throughout the manufacturing process, often utilizing sterilization by filtration. Personnel play a critical role here. Proper training, gowning procedures, and behavior are vital to maintaining sterility. The premises themselves must be designed to minimize contamination risks, with controlled environments and proper airflow systems. Equipment used must adhere to strict sterilization standards to prevent introducing any contaminants. Finally, the finishing of sterile products, whether packaging or final sterilization steps, must also follow GMP guidelines meticulously. All these elements, personnel, premises, equipment, and procedures, work together to uphold the integrity and safety of sterile products, aligning with the overall quality assurance goals of our manufacturing processes. Let's take a closer look at Annexure 9, which provides guidelines for the packaging of pharmaceutical products. For example, it emphasizes the importance of hermetically sealed containers, or CRCs, which help ensure the product remains sterile and uncontaminated. When we discuss aspects of packaging, we need to consider the materials used and the closures. The choice of packaging materials is critical because it affects the product's stability, safety, and efficacy. Closures must also be reliable to prevent leaks or contamination. Quality assurance is another key aspect. It involves rigorous testing and checks to make sure that the packaging meets the required standards and that the product inside is protected throughout its shelf life. Protection of the environment is increasingly important, too. We should choose eco-friendly materials and methods that minimize waste and reduce environmental impact, aligning with sustainable practices. Then there are specific quality specifications and pharmacopoeial requirements, especially for containers used in Europe, Japan, and the US. These standards ensure consistency, safety, and compatibility across different markets. Lastly, TRS 902-36 continues to provide detailed guidance on these points. Overall, effective packaging isn't just about containment. It's about safeguarding the product, ensuring quality, and supporting environmental responsibility, all of which are vital for delivering safe and effective medicines to patients. Now, let's take a look at the current guideline for the issuance of COPP. This guideline provides the framework we follow to ensure compliance and consistency. In addition to the main document, there are other important references and annexes that support this process. For instance, there's the bioequivalence batch for clinical trials, which is crucial when we're assessing the generic versions of products. Another key resource is Annexure 4, which outlines the Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP, for pharmaceutical products. This annexure covers all the fundamental principles necessary for maintaining high-quality manufacturing standards. It includes general GMP requirements and guidelines that we must adhere to across the board. Lastly, I want to highlight TRS 908-37, which ties into these guidelines and annexes, reinforcing the regulatory framework we operate within. Overall, these documents and annexes form a comprehensive reference that helps us ensure the safety, efficacy, and quality of the pharmaceutical products we oversee. Let's take a closer look at Annexure 9, which covers good storage practices for pharmaceuticals. This section is essential because proper storage ensures the quality, safety, and efficacy of medicines throughout their life cycle. First, we have the glossary, which clarifies key terms used in storage practices, helping everyone stay on the same page. Next, personnel is a critical factor. Well-trained staff are vital for maintaining proper storage conditions and handling pharmaceuticals correctly. Then, we look at premises and facilities. This refers to the physical environment where medicines are stored, which must be designed and maintained to prevent contamination, damage, or deterioration. Moving on to storage requirements. Each product has specific needs, such as temperature, humidity, and light conditions, that must be strictly followed. Returned goods also play a role, as they require careful handling to prevent any risk of contamination or misuse, ensuring only safe medicines are reintroduced into stock. Dispatch and transport, especially cold chain requirements, are crucial because some medicines need to be kept within specific temperature ranges during transit to maintain their effectiveness. Product recall procedures are also essential, as they provide a systematic way to quickly remove defective or compromised medicines from the market, safeguarding public health. And lastly, I want to briefly mention TRS 908, which is a reference code related to these practices, ensuring consistency and compliance across processes. All these points tie together to form a comprehensive framework for maintaining high standards in pharmaceutical storage, ultimately supporting the overall goal of delivering safe and effective medicines to patients. Now, let's look at some key terms in our glossary that are essential for understanding good storage practices. First, personnel. This refers to having the right kind of education, experience, and training aligned with the duties they perform in the warehouse. It's also important that personnel wear suitable gowns and maintain high levels of personal hygiene and sanitation. These practices help prevent contamination and ensure the safety of the stored goods. Next, we have premises and facilities. This means a well-designed fabric or structure that minimizes the risk of contamination and mix-ups. It should be free from pests, rodents, and insects that could compromise the quality of the products. Adequate space is crucial, with proper segregation to avoid cross-contamination, and access should be controlled to limit unnecessary entry. Additionally, the premises should be a clean, dry area with proper temperature control to maintain the integrity of stored items. These points are highlighted in Annexure 9, which covers good storage practices. Together, these elements form the foundation of a safe and efficient storage environment, supporting our overall goal of quality assurance and compliance. Let's take a look at the storage requirements. It's essential to monitor storage conditions regularly using calibrated devices to ensure the products are kept under optimal conditions. Records of these monitoring activities should be maintained for at least 1 year after the expiry date of the stored products, providing a clear traceability trail. Additionally, temperature mapping studies are crucial. They involve placing probes in the areas where temperature fluctuations are most likely to occur, so we can understand and control the environment effectively. Now, regarding returned goods, these should be stored separately from other inventory. Segregation is key to prevent cross-contamination or mix-ups. Moreover, proper traceability and documentation are necessary. This ensures we can track the movement and status of returned items accurately. Finally, I'd like to highlight that these practices align with the principles outlined in Annexure 9 on good storage practices. They help us maintain product integrity, comply with regulations, and ensure the safety and efficacy of the products throughout the storage process. Let's talk about dispatch and transport first. It's crucial that we protect the storage conditions and ensure product labels are maintained properly. Monitoring records play a key role here, as they help us verify that everything is as it should be. This traceability is especially important if we need to conduct recalls, because it allows us to track exactly where and how the products have been stored and transported. Moving on to storage and labeling conditions, these must also be monitored carefully. We use calibrated monitoring devices to keep track of conditions, making sure everything stays within the acceptable range. Now, what are the typical storage conditions? Generally, products should be stored in dry, well-ventilated premises. The temperature should be maintained between 15 and 25 degrees Celsius, but depending on the climate, it can go up to 30 degrees Celsius. It's equally important to exclude extraneous odors, any signs of contamination, and intense light, all of which could compromise the product quality. For more detailed guidance, you can refer to Annexure 9, which covers good storage practices. Overall, these measures are all about safeguarding the integrity of the products throughout the entire supply chain, aligning with our overall commitment to quality and safety. Let's take a closer look at Annexure 7, which outlines the 7 principles of HACCP and how they are applied specifically to pharmaceuticals. As we know, HACCP stands for Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points, and it's a systematic approach to ensuring safety and quality. Now, for the pharmaceutical industry, the focus is on making products that are safe, pure, and effective. These principles help us identify potential hazards at every stage of production, from raw materials to finished products, and establish critical control points to mitigate those risks. Switching gears briefly to food, the same principles aim for products that are safe, pure, and also wholesome or nutritious. This highlights the versatility of HACCP in different sectors. Remember, TRS 908, which is referenced here, provides detailed guidelines on applying these principles. Overall, These principles form the backbone of quality assurance, ensuring that whether we're talking about medicines or food, the end products meet the highest safety standards. This aligns perfectly with our overall goal of protecting consumer health and maintaining trust in our products. Let's take a look at Annexure 1, which is the list of available chemical reference substances. This annexure is essential because it provides a comprehensive catalog of the reference standards we can rely on for ensuring the quality and consistency of pharmaceutical ingredients. Having standardized reference substances is crucial for accurate testing and validation. Moving on to Annexure 2, this details the good trade and distribution practice for pharmaceutical starting materials. This ensures that the materials are handled properly throughout the supply chain, maintaining their integrity and quality. Following these practices is vital for preventing contamination and ensuring the safety of the final pharmaceutical products. Finally, Annexure 3 covers the WHO Pharmaceutical Starting Material Certification Scheme, or SMACS, which was introduced in January 2004. This scheme offers a certification process to confirm that starting materials meet WHO quality standards, providing confidence to manufacturers and regulators alike. Connecting these points to our overall theme, these annexures collectively emphasize the importance of standardization, quality assurance, and good manufacturing practices in the pharmaceutical industry. They serve as foundational tools to maintain the integrity of medicines from raw material sourcing to final production. This guidance text is a key step in making sure we maintain the quality and traceability of pharmaceutical starting materials. It also helps us clearly define who is responsible for setting the specifications throughout the entire process, from manufacturing to storage and distribution. The scope of this scheme specifically covers pharmaceutical starting materials that are obtained through chemical synthesis. It's important to note that blood and blood derivatives are outside the scope of this particular scheme, so the focus remains on chemically synthesized materials. We refer to this framework as SMACS, which stands for Starting Material Certification Scheme. This scheme is designed to provide clarity and assurance about the quality of these starting materials, ensuring they meet the necessary standards at every stage. Overall, this guidance aligns with our broader goal of ensuring safety, quality, and consistency in pharmaceutical manufacturing. It helps establish accountability and traceability, which are critical for regulatory compliance and patient safety. This slide highlights that the scheme we're discussing is an administrative instrument. Essentially, it involves using a specific material in a pharmaceutical product that has been authorized to be placed on the market, either within its own jurisdiction or in another one. The key point here is that the material's use is backed by regulatory approval, ensuring safety and quality. Additionally, the manufacturing site where this starting material is produced is subject to regular inspections. These inspections happen at suitable intervals, and their purpose is to verify that the manufacturer continues to conform to Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP, as recommended by WHO. This process helps maintain consistent quality throughout the supply chain, which is crucial for patient safety and product efficacy. And this scheme, known as SMACS, Starting Material Certification Scheme, plays a vital role in ensuring that starting materials meet the necessary standards before they are used in pharmaceutical products. Overall, it emphasizes the importance of oversight and regulation in safeguarding the integrity of medicinal products from raw materials all the way through to the final product. Let's take a closer look at Annexure 5, which provides guidelines for preparing a laboratory information file, or LIF. Essentially, a LIF is a comprehensive document that the laboratory prepares to detail the operations carried out at a specific site. It includes factual, specific information about what the laboratory does there, whether it's sampling, chemical analysis, stability testing, or other closely related activities. If only certain operations are performed at the site, the LIF should focus on describing just those activities. This makes the document precise and relevant. It's also important to keep the LIF succinct, Ideally, it shouldn't exceed 25 A4 pages. This helps ensure that the document remains clear, concise, and easy to review without unnecessary detail. Remember, the goal here is to provide a comprehensive yet streamlined account of laboratory operations, which supports transparency and regulatory compliance. This aligns with our overall theme of maintaining high standards in laboratory documentation and quality management. Let's take a closer look at WHO's expert commitment to biological standardization, which is essential for ensuring the safety and efficacy of vaccines. This involves developing and maintaining standardized procedures and reference materials that laboratories worldwide can rely on. Specifically, on Annexure 3, we see the WHO Good Manufacturing Practice Guidelines related to water for pharmaceutical use. This document, TRS 926, 53, provides detailed standards for the quality of water used in vaccine production. Ensuring water quality is a critical part of manufacturing, as contamination can compromise vaccine safety. The standards outlined here help manufacturers maintain consistent quality, which ultimately supports public health. Connecting this to our overall theme, standardization underpins the reliability of vaccines, ensuring they meet rigorous safety and efficacy criteria globally. This collaborative effort by WHO experts is fundamental to maintaining trust in vaccines and supporting global health initiatives. Let's look at Annexure 2, which deals with good manufacturing practices, specifically the requirements for sampling starting materials, as per the 2005 amendment. One of the key points here is that an identity test should be conducted on a sample from each container of starting materials. Now, why is this important? Well, conducting an identity test ensures that each container actually contains the correct material, which is crucial for maintaining product quality and safety. By testing every container, we reduce the risk of using contaminated or incorrect materials in our manufacturing process. This step is fundamental to GMP because it helps us verify that our raw materials meet the specified standards before they undergo further processing. Also, you'll notice the reference to TRS 929, 39, indicating a specific guideline or regulation that supports this requirement. Overall, this requirement emphasizes the importance of thorough sampling and testing at the very beginning of production, aligning with our overall goal of ensuring consistent quality and compliance in our manufacturing practices. Let's take a closer look at some key references and guidelines from the WHO documents. Starting with TRS number 902, 36, this covers other important information, including Annexure 6, which details GMP for sterile products, and Annexure 9, which provides guidelines for the packaging of pharmaceutical products. These are crucial because they ensure that sterile products are manufactured under strict quality controls and that packaging preserves product integrity. Moving on to TRS number 908, 37, this includes additional relevant annexes. For example, Annexure 4 outlines the main principles of good manufacturing practice for pharmaceutical products, serving as a foundation for quality assurance. Annexure 7 discusses the application of the HACCP method, a systematic approach to identifying and controlling hazards in pharmaceutical manufacturing. And Annexure 9 emphasizes good storage practices, which are essential for maintaining product stability and safety during storage. Next, TRS number 822, 42, focuses on biological standardization and references Annexure 1, which specifies GMP requirements for biological products. This highlights the unique considerations when working with biologicals, given their complexity. TRS number 823, 32, provides specifications for manufacturing pharmaceutical products, setting clear standards for quality and consistency. TRS number 834, 33, again, addresses GMP, but specifically for biological products, reinforcing the importance of tailored guidelines for different types of pharmaceuticals. Finally, TRS number 863, 34, and 885, 35 are from the WHO Expert Committee on Specifications for Pharmaceutical Preparations. They include Annexure 6, offering guidelines on validating manufacturing processes, and Annexure 5, providing supplementary guidelines for the manufacturing of pharmaceutical excipients. Overall, these references form a comprehensive framework ensuring quality, safety, and efficacy across all stages of pharmaceutical manufacturing, aligning with our broader goal of upholding high standards in the industry. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you have any questions or need additional assistance, we're here to help. Feel free to contact us through the information provided. Thank you so much for your time and attention today. We truly appreciate your engagement and look forward to supporting you moving forward.